Hi, this is Mike Henriksen from Velocity 2015 in Amsterdam. I'm here with David Boloker. David, how you doing?
Very well. How you doing?
Good. So you're the CTO of IBM Emerging Technology?
Yes, I am.
On a day-to-day, what does that mean you get to do? Get to do, because I know it's a get-to-do job.
So on the average day, let's say of the last few weeks, I actually write code, play with code, work with the guys on actually the keynote for here actually, as well as I might sit down and read for 12 minutes. And then I'll also interact with basically the rest of the department, which is doing everything from mobile identity, so that we can actually share credentials, you and I, or I could share it with the government, all the way through to work on the Jupyter notebook project.
So with emerging technologies, is that more of like a proof of concept group, or is it a research group, or what is your main focus for emerging technologies?
Yes.
Yes.
So
all of the above.
All of the above. So I actually started IBM in research, okay, but emerging tech is all about, we look in something that will be needed by customers in the next 1 to 3 years. Okay, and then we'll work on them. Now, part of emerging tech, we actually have a side group called JStart, which actually takes our technology and goes out to customers with it. So it's exactly what you said. We do proof of concepts, get the feedback in, reiterate basically all the code, and go right back out to a different set of customers. And we'll do this until we have it right. And then, in theory, we'll transfer it.
So in your keynote today, let's unpack that a little bit and figure out what the proof of concept we're going for here with that. So you did a bunch of things, mostly voice, activating voice commands. The proof of concept there is to have input from humans recognized by machines and doing stuff?
Absolutely true. So what we're really looking at as a project is replacing the keyboard. We can actually speak faster than we can type, for sure. More importantly, if we can actually get the intonation as we're doing the speaking, we can actually start changing what really gets done, as opposed to having code all these things. Now, as you saw today, you know, there were 3 different distinct pieces today that were in that things. I basically had the start of my day, and remember, the start of my day is we can actually have the device go out and find out, for example, if I live in New York, oh, the subway's on time, and wake you up early if they're not, or late for that matter.
And Siri and Echo and those sort of things kind of do that, and Google Now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So those are great examples of devices that actually worry about the beginnings of what I'll call the end of the keyboard, okay? But they're all limited in that they don't really go very deeply into your life. Now again, you're going to have to allow this from privacy standpoint, but think about it. I can have something look at my email. I can have something look at basically my calendar.
Something look at my email? There's something looking at my email already.
Yes, my robot,
Yeah,
mine,
yeah, okay, good.
okay, will look at my email. And actually by email, it could actually say, well, it's time to get up because you actually have an emergency note that has to be dealt with immediately. Think about the changes that can take effect, not only from a calendaring standpoint, but really your whole life. If there's something happens, you know, God forbid, you actually can take care of it kind of immediately as opposed to sleep 6 hours.
But so if we raise this up a level more, like the ethics behind it, and there are going to be some people like me who are going to love a robot to go through and manage my day for me, and there are people who are terrified by the idea of machines interacting and controlling or, you know, interjecting into their life. How are we going to get the societal and, you know, the problems people are going to have with it?
People are going to have to buy in. There's no question. As if they started it in buying in with cell phones. Okay, we went from cell phones to smartphones to Hey Siri. Okay, this is going to be a major buy-in, but this is really going to make your life easier. Okay, but it has to be guaranteed to be private. Okay, there's no question about that. But if you take this up a level, why are we doing this? We're doing this to make the life of the business person much easier. For the business analyst who actually has to worry about their P&L, for the person looking at all the data that hadn't come in off of a show. Okay, positive, negative. What are the various feeds you're going to look at? Clearly, Twitter. You're going to have some survey data. You actually might have, you know, data of your own that you've gotten. Okay, you start putting all these things together, and you say to yourself, I can change things doing this, this, and this. I can make it better. I can also become much more inclusive of remote people as well as local people. There are so many things you can do once you actually look at something in a 360-degree way from a business standpoint.
So this is helping make a smarter planet, and we just need everyone to understand that we all want that together.
I couldn't say that better.
We
You are my publicist.
we do want a smarter planet, but so how do we make sure that, you know, I know IBM just acquired the weather company's technology assets, and you're going to be having 46 billion records a day that you're reading from weather around the globe and feeding it through Watson. So to me, that sounds like we're going to make a smarter prediction of what's
That's
happening.
exactly what you're doing. You're looking at it, building an analytical model, and you're going to start predicting in a very different way. You know, years ago, maybe 5, I was actually working with in Australia, and it was all about the sensors. We had a bunch of different sensors here and there. Okay, it was a sensor for, let's say, temperature, humidity. Then there was another one measuring rainfall. Think about if you can start looking at the changing climate all over the world, and then you can actually start thinking about what crops will be better and where. And this is really what everything is about.
And if El Nino really is going to happen in California this year, because if you went back and modeled the years when we had big El Ninos, maybe there's some indication of what led to that before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can say, well, what happened actually in the southern Pacific Ocean that actually causes all this? Why is there a change every few years?
So this is part of that smarter.
Outside of my life, I have no idea.
But this is kind of a smarter planet, smarter life for
Absolutely.
people. So I think that's the disentanglement that a lot of people maybe don't get. The smarter planet we all understand we need as a humanity, but the smarter life for the individual is kind of an opt-in piece.
It makes your life easier,
It
you know?
can- yeah.
And in some cases, it will help you focus your life. Technology is there to make your life easier, not to make it harder, and not to actually have people make your life harder either.
And so you folks in the emerging technology work with all your IBM partners to help bring these proof of concepts to make smarter business, smarter enterprise, smarter planet, smarter life to all of them?
That is true, and I pretty much work across all the various verticals with all different customers to just do that.
And do you see any of the verticals wanting this more than others? I mean, obviously the computer internet companies, but are there, you know, banking or?
Finance in general are the leading edge. So
Yeah.
yes, absolutely, your high-tech companies are there. But then you start looking at banking. Banking is there, insurance is there. I mean, you can go through industry by industry. Commerce, good example. I mean, examples given today on some of the, on stage for the websites. What are we measuring? Why are we measuring it? Look at the commerce sites they were looking at, okay? How do I basically know that customer better? If they let me, that's the key.
Right, and then so the one thread that I always see weaving through all of this is security and privacy is going to be paramount for all of these things to be successful. And how much do you guys in emerging technology look at security and privacy in what you're doing? Because like a drone, I mean, you can do some probably not nice things with even a personal drone right now.
Sure. Privacy and security are weaved into every single project that I will start. Okay, from who are you, to credentials, to looking at it, like I said earlier, we have the project on mobile identity. How can I actually guarantee to another party I am who I am? Okay, user ID password doesn't work. Okay, I can basically send a picture that actually will have ingrained in it information. Okay, and we can use that ingrained information to actually ensure that it truly is you and that it hasn't been doctored. You can encrypt the payloads. I mean, there's so many different things you can do in this case. And the first key is the information I'm giving you correct? Is it authentic? And if it isn't, you have to then tell the officer or the immigration officer or whomever what's really going on at that point. You have to really start there with that mindset, because that's the mindset we all have to live in every day. Okay, whether it's physical security or data security, we really need to worry about everything about our lives every day.
And your identity, right?
And identity falls directly in that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly, and that's some of the work that Jeff Jonas at IBM is also working on.
Absolutely
the identity
true.
part of it.
Yep.
So you guys weave all these things together?
Yep, and it becomes an interesting discussion at
Absolutely.
that point.
Absolutely. Well, David, I look forward to more discussions with you guys. I think what you're doing is fascinating, and we look forward to seeing what you guys come up with down the road.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.